The soul's journey, of which the tarot is a map, was described by Plotinus as consisting of 3 possible routes: the ascent upwards to heavenly heights, the inward journey, where the summit is found within one's own depths, and the return journey home to the origins of everything. At the core, these 3 routes are variations of each other and coexist on a circular, synchronous orbit with linear, time-based reality. What Porphyry called the flight of the alone to the alone is a dance in the shape of a double helix between one and the one. The Gnostic tarot follows the direction prescribed by the Gnostic Gospel of Thomas. The kingdom is within you. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. Hello everyone, welcome to Marilyn's Tarot Take. As you noticed, I had a slightly different opening today for this video. I felt like for this deck, I wanted you to have the same experience that I had by seeing and visualizing the cards with no knowledge of the deck per se. I knew of the deck, but I didn't know about the deck. So I wanted to open up with everyone being able to just visualize these gorgeous, haunting cards, one card at a time. So I'm going to read a little bit now about the deck. There's so much information in the book that comes with. It's gorgeous. Let me raise this just a pinch here. This book is amazing, absolutely amazing, and it is very helpful in understanding um, the whole premise. And many of you out there already know these much about the Gnostic Tarot because it's been around. The original was 2020, I think. This is the gallery edition. It was a Kickstarter that I backed. So this is new to me, so I'm in awe of the whole thing. I'm just totally in awe. But the story of the Gnostics' tarot creation is a strange and roundabout one. At times it drove me to distraction. At other times it fell into my lap, fully formed in the deck of 2018. Having completed the creation of the 5 tarot decks and other companion books, I began research in earnest for my next project, a tarot based on the spiritual beliefs of the Gnostics. The Gnostics were a diverse group of spiritual seekers who existed side by side with the earliest followers of Christ, a group which included members of Christ's own ministry and their students, including Thomas, Philip, Judas, Mary Magdalene, the beloved disciple John, and, as contradictory as it sounds, St. Paul. As the orthodox elements of what became the Roman Catholic Church gradually gained power, they erased from history all traces of the Gnostics. But Gnosis lived on through word of mouth, mystical experience, divine revelation, and philosophical meditation, self-analysis, and esoteric works such as the tarot itself. I've just marked a few pages I wanted to touch on. He traveled with a friend that was a painter for over 30 years. He traveled Europe and they experienced a lot of the different countries. I believe they went to India as well. And this painter's task for himself was to create this Gnostic tarot. And so throughout his years, he painted canvases anywhere from 2 by 3 feet to 5 by 8 feet. And wrote all sorts of notes and notations. And throughout 2020, Chris Leech worked arduously to do right by the painter and translate his cryptic hieroglyphics into simplified data and description. Meanwhile, getting decent digital photographs of his paintings proved a Herculean task in and of itself, involving multiple cameras, leaking roofs, heat stroke, and much trial and error. Perhaps one day I will publish a special edition of the Gnostic Tarot, which includes all of the insights the painter amassed through the perennial philosophy over his life. But for the time being, I hope people are able to appreciate and respond to the deck as it stands in the spirit intended. For myself, I have honestly tried to present the core of the work to the public in a manner true to the painter's vision. In so doing, I learned more about the tarot, gnosis, and psychology, and ultimately myself than ever I could have dreamed. The painter passed away and left all of his belongings to Chris. So he had to create an entire room in his dwelling for all the paintings and everything, and it took him years to get this combined. So how to use this is in presenting the painter's deck, I have preserved the language of his notebooks, which frequently included quotes and excerpts from works reflecting the perspectives, norms, and prejudices of the time period in which they were created. These include original works by Carl Jung, as well as translation of the Bible, the Gnostic writings. At heart, the Gnostic Tarot is structured around a fundamental dualism of energies, represented symbolically by the contrasting complementary archetypes of male and female. a universal duality which exists in a myriad forms simultaneously within and notwithstanding an individual's gender, sexuality, faith, race, class, or ability. And what he's got a glossary here of some of the terminology. And many of the figures depicted in the Gnostic tarot weave in and out of each other such that it is impossible to tell at times where one character ends and another begins. Indeed, as aspects of one's own psyche and the greater world, there is no absolute beginning and end point, thereby illustrating the unity of all things. To make sense of some of the more complex visual structures in the deck, a simplified schema has been made of most of the cards to help the reader get their bearings. As one of the salient features of these paintings is their intimate entanglement, it must be remembered that the simplified schema are only a rough guide to the card structure and meaning rather than a cut and dried delineation. Indeed, the images of the Gnostic tarot are intended for meditation as sources for further imaginistic rumination. I'll give an example of this. We're going to look at this is the Fool card. He's got these ordered differently in the book, but me being who I am, I had to reorder them and show them in the order that they would come in the standard tarot. But for example, let me find it. I'm finding it. It's in the back. The Fool. So he does have the little schematic here. This is the A portion and the B portion. The A is the self and the B is the other. So he gives the description. The Fool represents the guiding force of the psyche, both our potential and our fulfilled self. Our inner fool is what compels us forward despite what our rational mind advises. Arguably, there are no accidents, yet everything the Fool does is accidental. The Fool is the unconscious personified trying on the various masks of personhood. And then he gives more detail. But this is such an interesting, and maybe he does this in the other deck as well, and this is just the Kickstarter exceptional gallery version. But I'm finding this just fascinating. Goes into quite a bit of detail, of course, and then the upright romanticism, esprit, innocence, adventure, carelessness, in on the joke, originality. So he does give a quick reading, a quick meaning, I should say, as to what the cards are representing. It is not I who create myself, rather I happen to myself. You dancing with yourself when you realize you is having more fun than you. I just love Jung anyway. He's just fabulous. So here's the Ten of Earth, for example. You've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and all of these different areas. The self is the A, inner child, animus, D, E, and F are various, G, an ox skull, and H, a turtle egg. G and H. So I'm glad that he did that because you would have a hard time discerning what's actually going on in there. So as with the Ten of Water, the Ten of Earth is a culmination of the suit's ascension, whereas the final card of the water suit depicted a familial grouping to represent a repletion of the psyche. The final card of Earth suit depicts the internal integration directly with what family portrayed here is less real and more extensions of the self-realization. So this is not a deck for the faint of heart. There are so many deep dives, and everyone would personally experience this deck differently. He does have a painting list of all the paintings and the size of the paintings and when they were painted, which I've found fascinating. That's an added fun thing. Afterward, I like the distance between what has been done and the onlooker. I like, as it were, the removal of object as far as possible, Francis Bacon. So these are his other decks that he has done. I'm sure many of you have these other decks. I don't have any of these decks. But it is a Welcome tarot product. So I'm not going to go into great depth of what I feel or know about this deck because I don't know anything. What I feel is fabulousness jumping off the pages, deep dive, deep inner work. Um, this could go many, many places in many, many different directions, deep. So you want to be in the right frame of mind to use this deck. You got to be ready to deep dive and find answers that may poke at old hurts or old places or new places. So this deck I'm thrilled to have. This deck I am thrilled to present. And I hope to do something down the road here, maybe a little bit more of a personal experience with it. I'm going to have to take a little time with it. Um, as we've talked about. Oh, I wanted to show the cards too, the size. I'll do my standard thing. So they're bigger slightly, and not too thick, not too thin, and it's not. It's a form of a matte. It's not too shiny, so that's good too. But the backs show the number, which is 0, and the suit that it would be in, the whether that would be earth, fire. On the rest of these, it goes all the way up to 21. And then with fire, pardon me, they're just slippy slidey. The fire is the red. And they don't do the king and queen. He has 11, 12, 13, and 14. And 14 is the female archetype. 13 is the male archetype. This is the girl archetype and the boy archetype. I hope I have that right. I could have that backwards. And then we go into the cups, which are blue. Oh my goodness. I digress. Okay. And if you go back through and speed it up and watch the cards again, put it on 2 or 3, 3 times, then they're all in order of how it would be in a regular deck. We've got fire. We then have water, earth. No, this is air. This is air, and these are the pentacles. So that's the order in which I took them in. Just look at these. I just unbelievable. These are his paintings. What a fabulous, insightful, magical painter he was. Incredible. So I'm sure that someone knowledgeable about this deck could do a much better job of presenting. But I wanted to bring this forward. I'd love to hear from those of you that already have the deck, some insights there. Maybe you might have an insight how I should approach it, how I should study this. But this is going to be such a wonderful study deck and a wonderful insight to all portions and facets of my being. So thank you so much for stopping by to watch this today. Again, I'd love to hear from anybody that either has this deck, it just came yesterday, or has the original Gnostic Tarot, and a little bit of input from you as to how to approach this. That would be fabulous. So enjoy the rest of your day. Today's actually my birthday. So we'll be going out to dinner tonight and having fun and frolic. So you have a great rest of your day. I don't think I will be um, posting any more videos since it is my birthday weekend. But who knows? Something else may come in the mail. I don't know. So happy day to you. Happy day to me. Happy day to all. Have a great rest of your day and bye for now.